making floating shelves with the multi-purpose joiner Pro23. This shelf that I'm going to put on the wall today is a 1 inch and 3/8 or 35mm thick floating shelf. This is my least preferred method of making a floating shelf because it's extremely heavy. What I have done is I have laminated 2 pieces of substrate together. I've then used 3mm MDF for the top and for the bottom. As you can see from here, I have left a void space which is going to have what we call a brace. The brace is going to be attached to the wall. So the brace that we're going to put on the wall, it is very important that this brace is a minimum of 25mm deep or 1 inch. We also need to consider the thickness of the product itself. When we combine the 2 products together, this is 8.5mm. That goes onto the surface of the brace like so. Therefore, the depth into the back of my shelf must accommodate that measurement. The most important thing with this brace is this brace must fit extremely tightly into this void space so that there is zero chance of any movement once it is on the wall. Now I'm going to fix the brace to the wall. The important thing that I need to do here is I need to ensure that I find studs. If I can't find studs, I'm going to have to make sure that I put some solid material behind the drywall so I can securely fasten this brace to it. If the brace is going into a concrete wall or a masonry wall, we're going to use Dynabolts. To fix this brace to the wall, I need to ensure that I've got sufficient embedment between the brace and the wall into the studs. So I'm using extra long screws. I'm using 75mm screws straight through and into my stud. Let me demonstrate putting this onto the wall. I've found my stud. I've screwed it into the stud for the first time. Now I'm going to put my level on top of my brace. This is to level up where my shelf is going to be. We've now got the brace in a perfect position, nice and level. Now I can screw in the second part of the brace. Now my brace is securely on the wall. Okay, the brace is now on the wall. I am now going to fit my floating shelf. As you can see, I have the Pro23s in position already. These have been marked out by using the little red jig. Remember, this little red jig slides into place on top of the product, and then we give it a hit and it marks out where the corresponding item needs to go. So my floating shelf simply goes into position over the top of the brace. We find its position and then we move it 16mm. That is our floating shelf on the wall, nice and solid.